Now today we're going to be reacting to Talking to Strangers by the odds1out. I'm behind on a lot of these animations, but like the animators are just like pushing them out like so hard that I'm just gonna be behind. Like there's gonna be people that are gonna be talking about this and I'm gonna be like just sipping my water like I haven't seen it. I'm waiting till next week. So with that being said, let's like get into it and see exactly if we can relate to the odds1out, which we usually do. So let's get into it.
Let's pretend you get on a bus and it's super crowded. The only
Of
spot
course.
that's open is between two strangers. So
Yes.
you sit down between two people you never met and everyone is fine. Everyone's keeping to themselves, no one's making eye contact, it's perfect. Sure, your shoulders are touching, but that's
No.
just what happens. That's part of the bus going experience,
No,
you poor
I would
person.
get anxiety
but then
right
at
away.
the very next stop, aisle seat guy gets off. So now you and window seat guy are sitting right next to each other. But since you're in the middle, you have to be the one to decide, do you move or not? I honestly don't know what the right thing to do in that situation is. I'm conflicted. Because if you move, it would be silently telling the other person, hey, you're disgusting. I can't stand having our shoulders touch any longer, and I'm glad to finally get away from you. Ugh. But on the other hand, if I was the window seat guy, I would want the middle seat guy to become the new aisle seat guy. I wouldn't see moving as rude. I would just want his gross, disgusting body as far
I would
away
feel
from me
bad,
as
but
possible.
I would move.
That's not rude. But on the other hand, maybe I'm overthinking everything, and most people don't even mind being this
Yeah, I
close
think
to
that's
another
everybody.
human, and they aren't struggling socially. I don't know.
We just
Now imagine
overthink
that
everything
same
that comes to our
situation,
lives.
but with urinals. If you're in the middle urinal, do you
I
move
don't
halfway
know
through
how
to the
that
other
feels
urinal?
like, so I
Because
can't
would.
comment.
Are you supposed to talk to people when you're sitting 2 inches away from them? I always felt like I should say something, like, hey, did you see the game last night? I didn't. I was too busy drawing cartoons. But I realized that this is a two-way street. I'm worried about not talking to someone, but they're not talking to me either. We both agree
just
that there's this
minding their own
unwritten contract
business.
between us that we're not even going to look at each other. It got me thinking about strangers and specifically how I treat them. And how I can make money off of them. Hey-oh! I'm just kidding. That was a joke. For most of my life, I would go out of my way to avoid talking to people. I would stay in my lane, mind my own business, no eye contact. If everyone's using a urinal, I'd have to pee tomorrow. Yes, I'm lonely. But now that YouTube's the thing, I'm interacting with strangers more often than I've had to in my entire life. So I've been thinking a lot about strangers. And first of all, I think the word stranger is already an insulting label for someone just because you don't know their name. Oh, I don't know this person? They're a stranger. They're strange. I'm the normal one. They're the freaks. They probably murder people with an axe. That's always the go-to profession of a stranger, an axe murderer. But the people you see throughout your day are all humans with their own hopes and dreams, and some of them may hope to kill you, but you'll never know because you didn't ever take the time to get to know them. So I think that the people you see throughout your daily life aren't strangers. They're potential friends. Except for the weird ones, obviously. Stay away from them. And yes, I'm telling you to judge people based on their appearance. They're the ones that chose to wear anime shirts in public, okay? So back to the bus scenario. I'm sitting right next to this fellow human being. So far, there's not a single reason why I should dislike this person, but I don't know why, if you put him and me on a bus next to each other, I want him as far away from me as possible. Just stop touching my shoulder! So that was the last time I took the bus. Unfortunately, that's not the only place you meet strangers. One time I was at Home Depot and I was looking for jumper cables and I couldn't find them anywhere. And I don't know if I'm the only human that's like this, but I will try everything in my power to not talk to a sales associate.
Same.
I guess it's because I know they get paid minimum wage and their life sucks and I just want to leave them alone and not make their job any harder than it has to be. But asking employees for help isn't even bothering them that much. In fact, I think it's part of their job.
It is part of their job,
what's the worst thing they're gonna say?
I don't want to ask.
You don't know where one specific item is? Everyone else knows.
Yeah,
Did you
no,
even
that person would get
They're in
fired
the
right
jumper
away.
cable aisle, idiot.
Or at least
no
warned.
one's gonna think that. So feeling desperate, I mustered up what little courage I had and swaggered up to someone wearing an orange vest and said, excuse me, do you know where the jumper cables are? I don't work here. Oh, you don't work here?
Yeah, yep.
And then he walked away. And then he waddled away, waddle. And then the very next day, bam.
See, here's the thing, it's more awkward when somebody looks like they work there.
Would have been to find someone who does
But they
work
don't.
there. But I left the store because I didn't want to run into that same guy again. But I also bought a hammer because I didn't want people to think that I stole something. So... Oh yeah. And by the way, if you wear an orange vest to Home Depot, just expect people to ask you for
Yeah.
help. Same goes for people who wear red shirts at Target. You'd think I'd
Hold
learn
on,
from
let me
my...
pause this real fast. I went to Golden Corral and I stopped somebody. I was like, hey, can you please give me a refill? And that person looked at me and said, I don't work here, and walked away. And I felt like complete shit. And my mom just looked at me and she said, well, it's his fault for wearing that shirt in this environment. The workers all have that shirt. And I felt a little bit better because you should check, like you shouldn't be wearing the same identical shirt as the environment that you're in, just like how he's saying. It's confusing.
mistakes, but no, I have a bunch more examples. When my book came out, my publisher said that it was going to be carried at Barnes & Noble, and I thought that was super duper cool and wanted to see my book in the wild. Not to buy or anything, just to have a look at. So I took my friend Adam from Something Else YT, and we went to the local Barnes & Noble and started our search. We looked in the humor section, didn't find it. Then we checked the new release section, it wasn't there either. Then we looked at the best-selling section, then the religious section, but we couldn't find the book anywhere. So either the publisher lied or they had already sold out. But just to be sure, I asked one of the workers, hey, do you guys have a book by the odds1out? He kind of looks like this. And the worker typed something out on his computer and said, oh yeah, we got those in the back. We just haven't put them out yet. So then he went to the back room, brought out a copy and handed it to me saying, here you go, kid. And I thought, well, frick. I can't just hand it back to the guy and say, oh no, that's okay. I didn't want to buy it. I just wanted to have a look at it. Do you know how inconvenient that would be?
Yeah, that
so
is
the
pretty
only
inconvenient.
less awkward option I could think of was to buy my own book. And you know what? I'd get a couple cents back from this purchase, so it wouldn't have been a total
author
loss.
should buy their
But Adam,
own
being the
book
more
just to have
sensible
it as
one,
a
said,
keepsake.
Dude, this is ridiculous. You have to come clean.
So then he went to the worker and said,
So he actually wrote this book? He just wanted to get a look at it, like, in the wild.
And the worker said, oh, that's so cool. Do you want to sign our copies? And then I thought, well, hold on. You're not even going to ask me for my ID? How do you know I actually wrote this book and I'm not some guy trying to deface someone else's? And then the guy gave me a whole stack of my books and I signed them all. Last story before I go.
Hold on. Get somebody like Adam on your team, because that is the best thing. Because if you don't have a friend that's like Adam, it's just going to get awkward and you're going to buy the book and you're going to be too nice and then it's going to escalate all out of control and then you're going to come home and then whoever lives in your house is going to be like, why the hell did you buy that? Like, we weren't supposed to buy that. Get on Adam. Find a friend like Adam or get some lessons from that man.
I was in the hallway of a building and me and this potential friend crossed paths. He said, hello, and I was going to respond with, hello, and how's it going? But I combined the two and ended up saying, how? And then I jumped out a window and fell to my death. I can't rationalize that behavior. Maybe I spend too much time on the computer and I'm not used to looking at real people's faces, but I'm trying to change. Don't get me wrong, going to conventions and meeting fans has helped me a lot with talking to people. Granted, those conversations are usually one-sided and a real stranger won't already know who I am, but they've still helped me. Now, you might be expecting me to give you advice on overcoming social anxiety, but if you watch this video, you know I'm not the most qualified to give that advice, but I'll try my best. I know it's hard to feel confident and I'm still working on it, but you have to understand that we're all people and we all have things that we're struggling with. And in reality, we're not all watching or caring about every little thing that other people do. We're all too busy worrying about what other people think of us.
Yeah.
So with enough practice and believing in yourself, you can show the world your true colors, and I think you'll find that people are a lot nicer than you think. So if you're the middle seat guy on the bus and you have to decide whether or not to move, do whatever you want, no one cares. Just stop touching my shoulders. Hey everyone, I know it's been a while. Thank you for being patient with this video.
Let me pause. Sorry. I forgot which button switch. Okay, one thing I did see on a murder documentary, which is weird connecting to this, but we had this idea of how a stranger looked like from those posters that were clearly in this video, and not all people that are dressed like that, any kind of stranger danger can be actually anybody. In the documentary, we never really thought that murderers or serial killers would be our next door neighbors because we would have this kind of image from the poster, and that's not it. I know that's sort of the same, but not the same in this topic. I just wanted to mention that. But second of all, Um, it's hard not to care about other people's opinions of you or what you're doing. It's really hard to always not worried and get anxious thinking you did something wrong or you said something wrong or something like that. It takes a very big negative toll on your mental health, and it causes you to be a little bit worse with other people around you. And even though it's like really hard to understand, you should understand three things. One, everybody has their own life, and maybe what you did say or did not say, well, maybe what you did say did kind of bother them a bit. But if they're not going to talk to you about it, then it's fine. Or, you can tell. Sorry, that went to negativity real fast. Second of all, worry about yourself. Worry about your own feelings and stuff like that. You can care about other people. You can care about how you look and how you present yourself to other people. But do that for yourself as well. Not their opinion on the end of the day isn't gonna be the thing that decides you for you. And lastly, number three, not all strangers are good, so be careful around people that you don't know because it is a dangerous thing. But there are some times where people you don't know turn out to be a friend or a best friend or something else in your life. And that's, it just depends on what happens. But the relation of strangers and people you don't know, I think it's something we all deal with, especially social anxiety. So that was my take on that and my opinion on that. Thank you very much so much for watching me, all you beautiful, unique weirdos, and I'm gonna see all you guys in the very next video. So I'm out.